As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Being a parent, especially for the first time, with that comes a lot of self-doubt. As a dad, I just try to lead by example. When you're trying to be the best person that you can be, your kids see that and then they emulate that.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. It has been a beautiful and wet Friday for us here in North Mississippi, kind of best of both worlds. Not everybody got their rainfall today, but some much needed places got a hefty downpour as we made it into, well, technically our Friday morning and into the Friday afternoon as well. But thankfully, those rainy conditions started to move on out in the perfect time so we can get our Friday night football games pretty much out of the way, but with perfect conditions. I know some have some rivalry games today, some had just some plain old football games, and some homecoming games as well. So it was a beautiful Friday evening across North Mississippi tonight. But of course, I needed to tell y'all also about the forecast for this weekend as well. Game of the week highlights will be coming up though. Gabe has been working very hard on filming everything that you need to know for the game of the week. It is something I look forward to most for this broadcast because not only do we talk about weather, we also talk about football. We get to see highlights. We get to see band of the week, cheer of the week. It is a great broadcast coming up within the next few minutes, so I hope you can stick around with us and see all the highlights that Gabe has put together for us coming up in just a few minutes. But also, like I mentioned just a second ago, it's been kind of the best of both worlds today, but we have a best of both worlds weekend coming up, and I'll explain that within the next few minutes. But basically, we have a drier Saturday, kind of replace the rainy conditions we had today, but then also Sunday, we start seeing those rainy conditions return. So for those that like their dry weekends, you get that tomorrow, but for those that like their lazy, rainy Sundays, might finally have a lazy Sunday in store for us in the afternoon and evening for your Sunday. Best of both worlds coming up this weekend. Also, fall is almost here. We just keep hearing more and more good news as not only as we continue into the weekend, but into the work week ahead. So I will definitely give you the latest update you need to know about that fall weather finally making its way here. 3 days away. We're almost there, people. It doesn't feel like it, but we're almost there. Taking a live look out here in Edinburg, 73 degrees, but feels like 72. It feels amazing outside. Pretty much most of North Mississippi, well, some of North Mississippi got some rainfall. Edinburg, not too much, but still feels amazing out there. Those heat and seas not even knocking you up. Oh, we're not shutting down right now. There we go. Feels like 72, so still perfect conditions out there for any late night Friday evening plans before your Saturday. Taking a live look out here in Greenwood, pretty much the same story, 72 degrees, but feels like 72. That wind coming out of the north, 5 miles per hour, so you can definitely envision some drier conditions with that northerly wind pretty much pumping in continental dry air as you continue into the evening, but still beautiful conditions out there in Greenwood as well. Taking a look out here in Oxford, y'all will be hosting a football game tomorrow for the SEC. It's 68 degrees, but feels like 63. So beautiful conditions are in store to be in the low 60s. That is impressive for this time of year, especially when we get to our lows graphic later on in this forecast. You will not see any low 60s on that graphic. So to be feeling like you're at 63 degrees, that is amazing for anyone out there in Oxford experiencing those temperatures tonight. Taking a live look out here in Starkville as well. Still beautiful conditions. 70 degrees, feels like 70 as well. I know y'all, yep, they already got some tents set up for tailgating tomorrow. Y'all are all very excited. I am excited as well. So I'm hoping both Mississippi State and Ole Miss can get their dub tomorrow and we can all walk out of the stadium with smiles on our faces. But taking a look at the first 12, 72 degrees by the time we're starting off, or well, not starting off, we're wrapping up our Friday, but ending this broadcast, getting ready for bed and starting those plans. But by the time we get towards those AM hours, I mean, there we go. You're seeing low 70s, upper 60s. So for Oxford to feel like you're in the low 60s, that is very, very impressive for this time of the night as well. We can see maybe some patchy fog will be the story and most of the action we see for our Saturday, but then we'll see that warming trend start pretty much skyrocketing as we continue into the afternoon hours as well. 69 degrees by 8 in the morning, already pushing the upper 70s, and then 88 degrees by 11 before we hit that lunchtime hours. And those are unfortunately going to continue to go up as we get closer and closer towards those peak afternoon hours as well. But as promised, I mentioned that Gabe put together those highlights for the game of the week. Let's take a look on what all he has to say.
Well, Caleb, I'm actually joined live in South Pontotoc with a few of my friends. What's your guys' names?
Lane.
Grant and Lane. Well, Grant and Lane, I got to ask you guys a golden question. Who won tonight? The Cougars, always. Yeah, exactly. First big win of the season for you guys. We are happy. Give me five. Well, we love that. You guys have a great evening. Amazing one here, just Pontotoc, but all across North Mississippi. And we had a big game. Let's go ahead and get into Cougars. Let's those highlights real quick. So homecoming in South Pontotoc this evening as the Cougars took on the Okolona Chieftains. Here's a look at homecoming court with your 2025 homecoming queen crowned in the middle. Players were fired up to get this homecoming kicked off. First quarter, after a few 3-and-outs, Cougars quarterback Jackson Highlander pitches it to Dylan Coleman, who finds the edge and slides for a Cougars first down. Big play right there. Players congratulating him. Big third down right here. Cougars need at least 3 yards. They turn to Coleman again. Right here on the snap, tosses it to him, and he will get tripped up at his long legs right there, get him all the way into the end zone. He was diving in there all night long. Cougars, their fans loving what they're seeing, getting that first score of the ball game. 7-0 Cougars with 3:36 left in the first, as you can see right there. And, of course, Okolona needing a big response. So don't blink, because Cougars kick off to Bryson Washington for Okolona, who finds the gap, but the tribe of Chieftains around him who responds on a 60-yard kickoff for a touchdown. Whole team joining in the end zone to celebrate with Okolona section point. 7-6 Cougars. Needing Cougars turn to who else but Coleman on the pitch play again. His blocks would line up, and he would tiptoe the sideline for a big first down. Needing a response, and Coleman did that all night long. After running it so much, the Cougars fanned off. Highlander would throw a 15-yard strike to Walker Wise for 6. Wise play. And then no, you demand. Cougars fans were wild for the score. Trust me, I still have layers of baby powder. Cougars would go for 2, but come out unsuccessful right here. As you can see the ref shaking his head. Not today. 13-6, Cougars with 1:27 in the first. Scoring coming fast now after those 3-and-outs. Okolona needs a response. Jalen Jennings takes the snap, looks deep, and finds his main man, Jaden Grady, on a crossing route who goes 35 yards for a Chieftains first down before being dragged out right there. Should I say shoved out with a late hit right there. Coach knows they need a score right here, trying to take advantage of where they're at on the field. He goes to Kingston Blanchard on a handoff, who gets an easy, untouched touchdown. Up with the Cougars. Wait right here. Talk to me, young man. There it is. 11 on top. 13-13. All tied up with 11:34 in the second. Another big third down. Cougars go to Coleman, who gets outside but comes up just short of the first. Right here you can see just short. Just trying to get points. Zach Moore lines up the kick, and it is blocked by Okolona's Kingston Blanchard again, making plays both ways. Okolona looking to take the lead, gives it to Jennings, who throws on the middle, but it is intercepted by the Cougars. Jordan Galladay. Big play right there. Big response by the Cougars. And South Pontotoc's Coleman would not come up short again. Dives for 6. And yes, he did hold on long enough. That ball was not out. Touchdown Cougars. Ref letting them know right there, despite Okolona having second thoughts on that. Cheerleaders having plenty to cheer for tonight for the Cougars. They would go for 2. Direct snap to Cal Jaggers, who powers in for the conversion. Some Jagger swagger right there. 21-13. Cougars with 5:29 in the second. Okolona trying to keep it up, gives it to Grady, who gets the first down before being brought down. But Cougar coach, furious with the team right here, throws his headset and demands the team to come up with the stop right here. Passion and fire behind that coach right there. How do they respond? By getting the stop. Okolona's Jennings takes it outside and fumbles on the play, and it is picked up by the Cougars right here. Look at how happy they are. Coming through for Coach, and I know Coach was enjoying that over on the sideline as they let him know, yeah, Cougar ball. Let's go get the points right here. Fans loving that fight and had to hop on the 6-7 trend. Still don't know what that means. Cougars trying to take a 2-possession lead. Pitches it to Kai Hidalgo, but he fumbles. Picked up by Oklahoma's Jalen Randall, who goes 50 yards the opposite way. They're saying touchdown, but he's a big fella, and what a change of momentum for the big fella right there. Oklahoma looking to keep it going. Jennings takes the snap and tosses to his wide receiver one, Jaden Grady, who stays inbounds before getting popped right here. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Once again, a big-time play from a big-time player. 2-point conversion would be no good. 21-19 Cougars leading as they head into half. A big-time play, like I mentioned, and fans loving every second of that. But unfortunately, that wouldn't last for long. It wasn't going to be a close game forever, and the Cougars would end up building that momentum. Call it homecoming advantage. I call it big-time players making big-time plays, and they had that all night long. But excitement over here for homecoming. Folks heading out for the homecoming dance now, and that's why the field's completely clear and the lights are turning off behind me. So I'm going to have to head out so I can get home myself before everything goes dark over here. But a fun time over in South Pontotoc and a big Cougars win. First one of the season coming on top of Oklahoma, and Oklahoma falling to 1-3. And the all-time series now at 5-10. Cougars catching up. Caleb, it's been a fun time out here, and the dry conditions prevailed once again. So I hope that things stayed well for the rest of North Mississippi because we enjoyed it here in South Pontotoc. Live from our game of the week in South Pontotoc, I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor for Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, I appreciate that, Gabe. It is always a blast watching your highlights and also listening to you narrate them as well. Is it wrong of me to say that my favorite part was the 6-7 trend making it in? I was not on my bingo card for tonight, but still, that was an amazing highlight reel. Taking a look back at those weather conditions across North Mississippi, just like our meteorologist Gabe Maynor said, those dry conditions have prevailed across North Mississippi, for this evening. Very dry conditions. No, definitely not precipitation. I know we probably would expect that with how the radar looked earlier today, but still definitely in clear air mode, just looking for something to try to hit and scatter back. But we are seeing dry conditions across North Mississippi this evening. Taking a look at our futurecast to see how long these dry conditions continue, well, it'll be for a while. As we continue into the overnight hours, that cloud cover, I mean, you can say that moisture starts entering the atmosphere, but that's the extent of the rain chances that we'll see. They start breaking up just a little bit as we get closer towards lunchtime, but then also building back in as well. We might see some pop-up showers really try to bubble up as we get closer towards the later afternoon hours, early evening, but for right now, we are staying dry here in North Mississippi, and we can definitely see that here on the next 24. Most action we can see is maybe some fog starting in some localized areas, especially with that heavy rainfall received earlier today. So maybe some patches of fog in the morning. We will start warming up, seeing those mostly clear conditions transition to partly cloudy, mostly cloudy, little break in between, trying to give us something to look for in the sky. Warming up towards those upper 80s by lunchtime around 12 o'clock. Definitely seeing those low to mid 90s by the time we reach those peak heating hours. And then maybe around 6 o'clock or late afternoon hours, we can start seeing some of those showers try to pop up. But for most of us here in North Mississippi, we will stay dry. Now, of course, I'm going to give you an in-depth look on when those bubbles of showers could pop up, especially since we have some SEC game day forecast coming up the next minute. I'll give you everything you need to know coming up in 1 minute.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Go, Chief, let's go! Let's go, let's go! Oh, hey, Chief! Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Chief, let's go! Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Let's go, let's go! Oh, hey, Chief! Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Go, Chief, let's go! Go, 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 go! Go, Chief, let's go! Let's
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, there you have it. There was your Spirit Squad of the week. Stay around, though, because we also have to give you the Band of the Week coming up within the next few minutes. But of course, we have to start this broadcast with another great photo sent in by our weather watchers. This was weather watcher Tammy out in Belden, just showcasing some of the damage we received across North Mississippi. This was, if I say tree limb, I mean a big tree limb that was snapped and broke just because of that high wind that we received earlier today. We're not officially in severe weather season here in Mississippi, but also just shows that you need to take any system and cell and warning that we receive here very seriously, especially with, you know, how Mississippi weather is. Can never expect which season you will wake up to during the day, but thank you. A big thanks to Tammy for sending this in. We love seeing those eyes out in the field and know what we're talking about to understand this better and explain it to y'all. But taking a look at our SEC football forecast, my Mississippi State Bulldogs are playing the NIU, Huskies tomorrow at home in Starkville, starting off around 92 degrees, slowly but surely cooling off towards 90 around halftime, 85 by the time you're walking out of the stadium around, well, you can see it's an afternoon game, so definitely a warmer type of game out there in Starkville. But for Oxford, same exact situation. 2:30, the Ole Miss hosting Tulane, the Green Wave, starting off around 90 degrees and still slowly but surely making your way down towards 87 degrees. So I hope both the Bulldogs and Rebels can get their win tomorrow and walk home with a smile on their faces. And since it's an afternoon game, that means you got to have a good rest of your Saturday evening as well. Taking a look at Futurecast so we can track out what to expect before we get there. This is at 10:30 right now. It's maybe some lingering showers and some sprinkles. Definitely not anywhere close to the downpours we received earlier today. They're going to try to make their way across our viewing area, but as you can see, definitely fizzle on out as we progress further into the AM hours. We can see somewhat cloudy conditions pretty much north of Highway 6. If you're south of Highway 6, you're seeing pretty much mostly clear conditions, and you can see some probably bright, sunny, starry skies overnight tonight. But that cloud cover tries to build back in just a little bit as we get closer towards our Saturday morning, allowing for a cloudy start. But it's 6 in the morning on a Saturday morning. You don't need to wake up. Let's sleep in. Let's enjoy a late start to our day. Low temperatures. This is what I was talking about. You don't really see any low 60s popping up here for our lows tonight. Pretty much mid 60s. There's 6-7 for Starkville and Columbus for all the kids wanting to do that meme. So there you go. Starting to make their way into our broadcast as well, but definitely a warm start to the day for us in North Mississippi. But taking a look back at Futurecast, you can see that cloud cover not really across most of North Mississippi unless you're pretty much out in the southern portion of the Delta and most southern part of our viewing area. Now this cloud cover will try to build in just a little bit as we get closer towards that lunchtime hours and stay pretty consistent as we continue into the day. This is at 12:30 around lunchtime, so a little bit more cloud cover than we saw earlier in the morning. But as we continue into the afternoon, we can see more cloud cover and some bubbling of some systems, or not systems, pretty much just showers and cells popping up. Nowhere to the extent that we had today, just maybe localized showers trying to give us a little brief change of scenery and cooling us off, because these high temperatures, this is what we will be dealing with for our Saturday. Still well above average. Summer is holding on to us as long as it can before fall comes around the corner. Pretty much mid 90s across our viewing area, 96 trickling in around Greenwood, Belzona, and Greenville, 95 in Clarksdale. Those heat indices keeping us at bay pretty much exactly where those actual temperatures are, not really decreasing us. We are maybe elevated just a degree or two, but definitely away from those summer muggy conditions, bumping us up into the upper 90s and triple digits. So definitely glad to get away from that. But taking a look back at Futurecast, you can see some of those showers trying to move on out of our area, just a few bubbles across North Mississippi, a little bit more of a hefty shower across Tennessee and moving into Alabama. But we see drier conditions as we transition from Saturday night into our early Sunday morning. And then we should see beautiful conditions across North Mississippi as we get ready for our early morning church commute around 8:30, pretty much mostly clear skies, some partly cloudy skies in North Mississippi, but it should be a beautiful start to our Sunday. But by the time we get towards lunchtime, here we go. We can see pretty much more elevated chances of rainfall across North Mississippi. I don't think it's going to be to this extent necessarily, but like I mentioned in the 5 and 6 broadcast, this is the graphic that we are going to watch all weekend long, and I'm excited to see continue updating as we get closer and closer to Sunday. But best of both worlds. You get a dry Saturday and then maybe a lazy Sunday in your forecast for this weekend. Now, these showers are going to continue kind of building and moving across North Mississippi, not really fizzling on out as quick as they pop up, so should give most of North Mississippi a chance at rainfall. I know we will all have our fingers crossed. And they're going to continue moving into the evening and the afternoon, evening hours before fizzling on out towards some drier conditions for our Monday morning. You can even see some trying to still bubble up by the time we get towards Monday, 1 in the morning. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we continue tracking that out towards the end of our weekend. Taking a look at high temperatures, you can tell these are definitely coming towards the afternoon and evening. Those high temperatures are still well above average in the mid-90s across North Mississippi. Red Bay and Iuka and Boonville, that is the place to be this weekend, coming up in the upper 80s, around 89 degrees. Those heat indices, they're bringing you back into the 90s with us. 90 in Boonville, 92 in Iuka, but still mid-90s across most of our viewing area here in North Mississippi. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, you can see dry conditions will be the story for our Saturday before we see those rain chances come back Sunday. But these above average temperatures, that is what's going to continue to linger in North Mississippi until Wednesday. And there we go. We are finally seeing those fall temperatures start returning. 40% chance of rain. That is due to a cold front bringing in those rain chances and also cooler temperatures as we start to get closer towards the end of our work week. Still got to get through these above average temperatures until then, but that is something that we can look forward to, especially once we start the work week. But as promised, I mentioned I would also show y'all the band of the week. Check this out. Well, there you have it. There was the band of the week. It looks like we have the best of both worlds, not only in weather, but also our game of the week. South Pontotoc getting the win in the football game, but Okolona getting the cheer squad of the week and band of the week. So I appreciate y'all tuning in to one of my favorite broadcasts with the weather, football, band of the week, cheer squad of the week, everything covered in the 10 o'clock broadcast here in North Mississippi. But take a look. This is the QR code for our app. We appreciate all the support that you've given us. We cannot do this without you guys. I appreciate all the pictures y'all send in, all the feedback y'all send in as well, and updating the app to give what y'all need and what y'all look for in the weather. So really appreciate it. It means a lot, and we just love the continued appreciation. But taking a look at our live shows, we'll be back towards our weekend broadcast schedule for tomorrow, because thank goodness we have made it to yet another weekend. So we will be live tomorrow at 6 and 10. Ignore the morning shows, ignore the 5 o'clock, sleep in, y'all do what y'all want. And I'll be back here live tomorrow night at 6 and 10 at the Room to Room Weather Center, ready to spend my weekend with y'all. Y'all have a good night.
For more than 100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated community banking to North Mississippi. The banking products and services you need when you need them. At First Choice, you're our priority. Make First Choice your choice for banking.
When people are fed,
futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/act now.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.